Hello, 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 everyone. We are open again, yet again. We are open, but not like Sherlock Holmes open. We're just like, we're in Hawaii open. Like the sun is, rising and we're open now. Okay. Our beach house is open. And look at who came to join us. He's a little grumpy because he ain't had his little Starbucks cherry blossom chai coffee, which is so good. I tried that today. Y'all should totally try it. This is the cat formerly known as Chester. He's here in his little boom, 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 wipeout outfit. He loves this outfit with his little sunglasses because we're in Hawaii vacationing and I'm wearing my little grieving hat because there are more body bags coming. So, okay, cat formerly known as Chester, get out of here before I tell this story because it's going to get kind of scary. It's going to get a little crazy out here. So we're here again on our Hawaiian vacation that we did surveys in the mall for. It's Scott, it's you guys, it's me. We're back. Okay, Scott, are you ready for more body bags on Bury Me Deep? But today's total or title is The Ghost is Trying to Ask Her Out because it gets a little wild in this story with these body bags. So we got Bury Me Deep here. We got the cat formerly known as Chester. We got Scott. We got you. We got me. We got these people on this island. We got Johnny. We got Mandy. We got Michelle, the sex kitten. We got everybody. Scott, are you ready to get back to Hawaii? Umi's ready.
Been ready for 2 days.
He hasn't been ready though. Okay, so remember last we left off, our girl Jean almost like she was dreaming and sleepwalking and that foolishness with Mike the ghost again. And she almost fell off the balcony, but thank God for Dave. He saved her. Sorry, there's a hair. I'm trying to get to it, but oh, there it is. So, she almost walked off the balcony, but Dave like yoinked her back, like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he told her, you something special, sis. You something special. Now, the night before when she was out with Johnny, she, he invited her to the boat the next day. Remember, we talked about that. Well, who he didn't invite was Mandy, who was originally trying to talk to this man who forbade Jean from talking to him, but now he just cutting her out. And he's like, you can come, and definitely sex kid Michelle can come, but Mandy, we ain't got no space for her. Scott, why would a young gentleman not invite the 1/3 wheel friend? Why would he not invite Mandy? Even though he's sneaking Jean on board, and Dave is definitely sneaking Michelle on board. You never know when you need a sex kitten on the boat.
Yeah, I mean, he's not interested.
That's a damn shame. Poor Mandy. So anyway, so the next day comes and Mandy and Jean show up. Michelle already on the boat. Michelle was cleared on the boat, honey, the day she stepped her little tight tail, not like tight, like meaning she right and tight. She when she stepped her right tight self on the island, honey, she was invited. Okay. So, Jean and Mandy are having some problems getting on that boat though. The problem is Dave is like, there's too many, we at capacity, y'all ain't paying customers. He didn't run this through me to invite 2 people. No. The answer is no. So here comes Jean talking about, well, we'll just pay. Even though, girl, didn't you like the last couple of chapters, all you talked about was the lack of money you had? So now you want to pay so Mandy can come. But again, this is good friend. This is good friendship. So I love that. So he lets him come on board and he's just like, well, y'all probably ain't gonna be able to sunbathe. Get over it. So, it starts off with donuts and coffee because it's early morning. They're doing what they need to do. The whales are just boom, like Shamu is just jumping across because it's whale mating season. So they're looking at whales from the boat. Like everything is all Gucci. Then it comes diving time. because this is a book about diving, people diving. So, the guys, Dave and Johnny, teach another class. The girls take it again, no big deal. And, then it's time to dive. So they dive. And, everything's good. They having a good time. They having a good time. They dive and they doing the missile. They having a good time. But all of a sudden, Mandy's having some problems as per usual. Okay, Mandy can't keep it together, and her oxygen tank is running out quickly. Meanwhile, Jean is over there exploring areas that her little self ain't supposed to. Okay, she see a cave over there, and it kind of looked like that cave that's been in her dreams like the past 56 times. So she's over there like, oh my God, let me kind of go over here and explore. Mandy started having a little panic attack underwater, which you should not do. You should not have panic attacks because that usually results in drowning. So, so Johnny is over there like, okay, girl, we gonna be all right. It's okay, girl. And eventually, like, Jean's swimming around. She's like, oh, I see that cave over there. I'm trying to get over there. This is great. But then they get told everybody got to come up because Mandy messing up this whole excursion. So even the paying customers got to go back up because Mandy acting up. So they swim back to the surface and get on the boat. So Jean is over there like, why every time I go diving with Mandy, she be messing up my flow? I'm over here trying to find bodies and caves that are in my dreams unnecessarily. Okay. So she begs Johnny, who likes her. She's like, Johnny, please, please, please. She blinking her eyebrows. She's like, oh my God, could you please take us out? But don't take us out. I want to swim where I never swam before. I want to go over there by that cave that I've been seeing in my dreams. Can we please go out? So he's like, okay, cool. Here come Mandy. Here come Mandy. Talking about, oh, can I come too? Girl, why do you want to keep coming? Like, girl. So they go back diving again. They take the wave runner and they jet skiing or running all the way back, over to like where the cave is. So they go diving again. Scott, can you guess what the hell happens with Mandy yet again?
She's left behind.
No, Mandy is messing up. Her regulator then popped out her mouth and she over there acting like she drowning, which she kind of is. I mean, it's not an act when you're like that deep in the water. But she's over there like looking like Sonic as he runs out of oxygen. And it's a mess. It's a mess. It's such a mess that Johnny can't focus on nothing else but Mandy. So he's over there like, girl, take this regulator and put it in your mouth, girl. Do what you know to do. Do what you know to do. What we taught you like 36 times, sis. So meanwhile, Jean's over there in the cave. Jean's over there looking over there like, oh my God, look at this cave thing that's been in my dreams that Mike showed me. Oh my God. So, so finally, I guess Johnny just tired of Mandy. He's like, we going back up. Come on, follow us, Jean. But Jean's like, oops, girl. Ooh, my belt, everything loose. Things are loose. I feel I got enough oxygen. I'm just going to stay on down here. I don't need you like that. I've taken 2 of your classes. I'm Gucci. I'm a professional. She's a professional. Does 2 classes not make you a professional?
I guess it does.
Period. In Hawaii, anything goes. In Hawaii, it's like Vegas. What happens in Hawaii stays in Hawaii. What happens in the ocean stays in the ocean. Like Ringo. So anyway, so she's fixing her weight belt. She's fixing it. But really what she doing is creeping. She edging her little self right on over to a cage. Now, Scott, remember when I told you that humans are the only animals that run towards danger? Like if a cat hear a noise, it's dipping. Mm-hmm. If a deer hear a noise, it's out. Mm-hmm. If a human hears a noise, it goes towards it. And this is what my girl Jean is doing. She is headed towards danger, honey.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Why are we scuba diving and going into caves? Because some person that's unalive showed us this, that we met on a plane randomly.
Yeah.
Is this what you would do, Scott?
Well, can't have gone bye-bye for no reason. Got a purpose.
And this he would totally do it. Okay, so anyway, so she's scooting her little self up in the cave. She's swimming through a cave. We didn't have 2 swimming classes. We professional now, so we swimming through that cave, baby. We just backstroking. And as she goes into it, she realizes, oh crap, it ain't got narrow, and now I'm stuck, and I only got a couple of more psi on my little oxygen tank thingy. And it's like, girl, always you should have took your up there with Johnny and Mandy, but you didn't. But okay, here we are. So as she's trying to bag out, she's trying to bag out. She's trying to get up out of there. And she's unsuccessful. But do you know what made her successful? Do you know what will make you a success? Seeing a skull. So my girl is like trying to bag out, and all of a sudden stuff is loosening up in this little coral cave, and bloop, out pops out a skeleton, a little skull, not this kind, not the hand. Out pops out a skull. So she starts screaming underwater, which I don't know if you have you ever screamed underwater, Scott?
Yeah. Well, you're not a swimmer, but yeah, when you're a kid and be in the pool with your friends, you like go underwater and you try to talk to each other or scream at each other.
Why are you trying to talk to each other? You a fish?
No, I mean, it's a game. You try to figure out what the other person was saying, but sometimes you just were dumb. And instead of doing that, you just scream and listen to the other person scream.
Honey, I had already almost drowned, and I knew better than to do that. I had almost drowned, so I knew better. So Scott was over there screaming underwater, and so was Jean. So Jean screaming because she didn't saw a skull, but it scared her so much, her adrenaline was pumping. She didn't push herself up out of the cave, and here my girl goes. She trying to dart back to the surface, but what we don't remember is we dive deep, and child, we about to get the bends. I don't know if y'all know what the bends are. I don't really know what the bends are, but clearly it's when too much nitrogen is in your body, and in your body, your lungs construct. Girl, it just sounds like a mess that you don't want. So my girl is she getting it back to the top. She like, I'm seeing dead bodies. I'm having dreams with dead bodies. This crazy. Let me get on back to the top. And all of a sudden, some grabs her. She shake it off, and my girl is still trying to bust it up to the top. All of a sudden, it grabs her again. Guess who it is? Thank you, God. Thank you, God. Johnny.
Yeah, there's gonna be one of them.
It's Johnny. Johnny's like Holt, sis. Holt. And he also is looking at her gauge, and he like, girl, you about to drown. Like I almost did when I was a little kid. You're about to drown. So how about I take my regulator and help you out, and then I'm gonna help you back up. You gotta like chill for a little bit, and then we're gonna get back up there, and then I'm gonna curse you out. So they get back to the top safely. She doesn't have the bends, which is great because the bends are a mess. And he's like, what the hell were you down there doing? And she was like, oh, my weight belt almost fell off. And then I saw this cave, and the cave had been in my dream. So I just went on in it. Which makes like nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing, except for Scott. Nobody else is doing that. So he yells at her. He's like, that's dangerous. You gonna end up like Ringo down there. You crazy. Stop having them dumb dreams. Get it together. And she's like, but I saw a skeleton in the cave. And he was like, no, you didn't. You crazy. You need to get on some kind of medication to help you. And she's like, no, I really saw it. So he's like, whatever. So she's like, no, how about you go dive back down there and go see? And he's like, no. She was like, well, get Dave to do it. Because I told you I saw a skeleton. I saw a skull with a bullet hole in there. And he's like, fine, let's get him to do it. So Dave go back down in there. He don't see nothing. Dave don't see nothing. He's like, girl, ain't nobody, you got the business. Just move on. And so they end up wrapping up their little thing. This time it wasn't Mandy. It was Jean who messed it up for everybody. So they pack it up. It's time to haul it back. So once they get back to shore, Jean is like, how about can Johnny and I spend some time alone? Mandy over there looking at her like, you're a whore. You already took my man. He already didn't want to invite me on this free trip that everybody else paid for. And now you want to spend time alone with him? You ain't. Okay. So they leave off. What Mandy don't know is Jean over here trying to do a ghost search. Okay, she trying to be Ghostbusters. And she's like, let me tell you the whole story, Johnny, about what happened. I met this dude on a plane. He happened to like kick the bucket. He been in my dreams ever since. I saw that cave that I got stuck in and almost unalive myself in. And I need you to help me to figure out this mystery. So we are Sherlock Holmes. We're on another mystery kind of, but it's with people ghosts. Like Whoopi Goldberg and them. Like Scooby Doo. So, okay. So she's like, he's like, that name sounds kind of familiar. And she's like, okay, well, I don't care. How about you go ahead and I need to call the airline stewardess that, was on the plane with me so you could believe that, some guy passed away next to me. So she calls the airline stewardess. Her name is Patricia. And she's like, Patricia, you remember me? And Patricia's like, yeah, girl, you crazy. Of course I remember you. You was over there talking about a ghost man. And so she's like, okay, Patricia, remember when Mike like had a heart attack on the plane? And Patricia's like, no, I don't. And Jean is like, yes, you do. Like he was sitting next to me and he passed away. And Patricia's like, no, ma'am, that never happened, ma'am. The man who you referring to died. Ooh, I don't know if I can say that on YouTube. The man who you're referring to unalived on the island scuba diving. I thought you was one of his friends, and I thought it was kind of weird that, wait for it. Wait, Scott, are you ready? Are y'all ready? Wait for it. That you was sitting in his seat. And so Jean is just blown away. Her hair is blown back, honey. Her hair is blown back. It's like Beyonce in concert. It's just blown back, honey. She don't know what to do with that. She's like, wait, but I had a whole thing where he passed away on a plane. Patricia was like, girl, you slept the whole ride. What are you talking about? You didn't even wake up for your snack and your drink, sis. And so Jean is like, okay, girl, how do you know? Like, can you prove to me where you got this from? Like, girl, at some point, Jean needs to leave it alone, but clearly she's not that kind of girl. She's not a quitter. Okay. So Patricia was like, girl, go look at the newspaper. It was just a month ago. So then Jean turns to Johnny and she's like, let's go to the newspaper place. And really, she did say that. So they head over to the newspaper place. She scans the newspaper. She finds it where he did pass away diving. His weight belt fell off, similar to what she lied and said hers did. And he came up to the surface and he got the bends and he was gone, baby. He was done. So then Jean is like upset. So she's like, okay, let's go to the cemetery. Now my girl just keeps finding places to go that involves old boy. And finally, Johnny is at his boundary. He is at his limit. Thank you, Johnny. And he's like, girl, my mama's a whole alcoholic who I gotta like babysit. He don't say that, but he should have. I'm gonna go back home and kick it with my drunk mama. You figure out what you want to do. So he was like, well, I'm not going to no cemetery. So he was like, what do you want to do? She was like, take me to a car rental place. So she goes and rents her own car and she goes to the graveyard. And it's closed. So she jumps the fence of the graveyard, just steadily running towards danger. So while she's there, she finds Mike's grave out of all the probably thousands of graves there. And she's sitting there, and all of a sudden the wind blows and a tree trunk falls on her. And we back to sleepy night, Nightmare on Elm Street time. We're back yet again. And actually the scene is this. So she's sitting by his grave in her dream that she got knocked out for. And, all of a sudden, like, he comes up and he is not like, I'm thinking Patrick Swayze ghost. I'm thinking like hot, sexy ghost. This man is deteriorated. Like his mouth was all like the way they described it. I was like, girl, this ain't hot. Like you just chasing something that don't really need. I wouldn't be chasing this. This is not what I would be chasing. Like where are the hot ghosts at? No, for real. Like, where the hot ghosts at? Right there, over there, right here. Like, honey, where they at? Like, why I gotta be with the man that look like that? Why I gotta be with him? What's so cute about that? So anyway, sorry. So Mike is basically like, hey, I tried to tell you that I wasn't alive. And yeah, you've been dreaming, sis. That's how I come to you. And I don't know why I'm not alive. I just went to Hawaii. I went on a swim and I didn't come, or and I came up, but baby, I came up belly up like a fish, baby. So, he's like, I'm gonna just show you what happened. Here, look at this balloon that I'm gonna blow up as I keep blowing up these balloons. I forgot my bubbles. Oh, I don't know where my bubbles. I was gonna blow y'all some bubbles, but we'll do it next time. Next time. So it's probably over there by the outdoor stuff. Anyway, so he blows it up and she sees Mike is on a dive at night with his partner. They're diving in that cave that she keeps seeing and going into and almost unaliving herself in. And he's swimming. So him and his partner find a skeleton because this is body bags everywhere, baby. And so, Mike is like, see, I told you the skeleton here. Like I told you. So his partner's like, oh, okay, hey, I love that for you. So they bag out. And as they're on the way back, the partner goes ahead and inflates his stuff, which inflate needs air, so it makes you rise. And he takes off his weight belt and just lets him drift up so he can get the bends in unalive. And Mike is just like, what is going on? Like, why am I like he didn't know? So, Jean watches all this go down, and she's like, oh my God, somebody he was the M word taken off this earth by somebody. So she wakes up from being unconscious. Girl, it is just getting more and more dangerous. This would not be my story. My story would be me at the mall, me at the buffet, me watching a hula dance show. Scott, what would me hiking up a volcano if not active? Scott, what would you be doing in Hawaii besides going in caves and chasing ghosts?
Surfing.
Scott surfing. Me not, because I would drown. And then I would be a ghost. So anyway, but not Jean. She now is like, oh my God, I got a head injury. So she wakes up and she got a big old knot over her eyebrow. And so, of course, we probably have a concussion. So what do we do with a concussion, Scott? We get in our car and we drive. We're driving because she needs to get back to the hotel because for reasons. So she's driving back to the hotel. She gets there. She gives her car keys to valet. And there are police and ambulance everywhere. Everywhere. And where she thinks she sees them at is like kind of up by her room. So she sees this guy with his little tropical drink with the umbrella. He's standing there like, girl, I ain't even pay. I didn't pay for this kind of entertainment, but I'm gonna watch. And so she asked him, she's like, what's going on? And he was like, some girl then jumped off the balcony. Somebody didn't jump. Some girl jumped off the balcony. Some young girl too. She young. And so she was like, this don't sound good. So she runs. She probably took the elevator. And she goes over and she's like, the police are definitely in her room, in their hotel room. And she's like, oh my God. She was like, is this the place where the girl jumped off the balcony? And the police like, yeah. And she was like, could you just tell me what the girl looked like? Like, what color was her hair? And he was like, brown, short. Oh my Lord. Oh my God. It's so hard to say goodbye to Mandy. Mandy gone, y'all. Green body bag. Mandy gone, y'all. Mandy gone. It's gonna be some slow singing and flower bringing, baby. Told you, body bags is everywhere. So Mandy has jumped off the balcony. So allegedly. So my girl Jean is upset. She don't know what to do. She's like, oh my God, I didn't escape a cave, drowning. I done met a boy on an airplane. I didn't like all of this is going on. I ain't got no money. And my best friend is gone, baby. So she runs to the police and she's like, she didn't do it. Mm-mm. She was too full of life. She didn't do it. Mm-mm. And so the police start asking her questions. And this is the time where I feel like, Scott, you should not be honest when everything you're doing is based upon like dreams that you having. Because it could sound like schizophrenia. It could sound crazy. It could sound like, I don't know. It could sound crazy. So she was like, yeah, I had a dream about this boy. I know who the murderer is. It's Dave. You know, I had a dream about this boy and his partner unalived him. And the police are just like, At first they were taking her serious, but then she started talking about her dream sequence. And they were just like, hmm, hmm. And then they looked over her eye and saw her concussion, and they was like, what happened to your head, girl? And she was like, a tree fell on it, and I went into another dream sequence. Like she was just being very honest, and I feel like there's a time and a place. This was not the time nor the place for honesty. And so they were like, why don't you go in the room, call Mandy's parents? Did you want to do it or did we want to do it? She was like, I'll do it. Call Mandy's parents and let them know what happened. Can you do that? And she was like, yeah. And it was like, don't go nowhere. Stay around here, okay? Because they probably thought she was the suspect. So they was like, don't go nowhere. She was like, okay. She did not call Mandy's parents. Maybe I should call this blood and bad decisions. Because this is kind of bad decisions. She does not call Mandy's parents. Instead, she calls Johnny. And she's like, Johnny, she don't even give the man like she don't even warm him up to what's going on. She's just like, Johnny, Mandy is unalived. She jumped off the balcony, so they think. It gets wild in Hawaii. And I think your friend Dave is the murderer. Like I know it's Dave because I saw it in a dream. And he's like, well, did you see the face in a dream? And she's like, no, but I know what I know. And so he's like, he was like, how about, he was like, okay, where are you? And she was like, I'm in a hotel room, but the police told me not to go nowhere. And he was like, well, can you escape? Girl, just bad decisions. Bad decisions, bad decisions, bad decisions. Again, we could have been at a luau or something, maybe hiking up a volcano, but that's not what we're doing. We're over here chasing ghosts. So, and running from the police. So, she's like, yeah, I can escape. So she does something death defying and jumps from one balcony to the next and escapes through somebody else's hotel room. And she gets in her car and she's driving, but she decides she's not going to Johnny either. She's not going to meet up with Johnny. She decides, I'm going to go confront Dave because unlike deer, cats, birds, and every other creature on the planet, I'm going to go towards the danger, not away from. Ooh, honey, my little veil is running away from me. We're going towards, not away from the danger. So we're going to go meet up with Dave and confront him about murdering everybody, I guess. So she goes to the boat and Dave is on there. And she's just like, I'm not even going to confront him. What I'm going to do is give him a concussion like I have. I'm going to steal some scuba gear. And then I'm going to go back to the cave that I almost unalived in. And I'm going to get a part of that skeleton, the skull, some part of this body that I found in that cave. And I'm going to bring it for the police, for Johnny, and any other doubters. Scott, would you call this a good idea?
Probably not. I feel like she's going to do it anyway.
It's about to go down. So, so she takes one of the air tanks and she busts Dave upside the head and he go down. Hopefully the ghosts don't come in his dreams because then we got bury me deep too. We don't have it. We don't have that. We don't. So he go down. And so she gets some scuba gear. She jumps on a wave runner, and my girl is out. She's like Harley motorcycling it. She's Harley. I feel like they lean back. Do Harley people look like this guy?
Sure.
Boom. So she's jet skiing it back to the cave that we almost unalived in. So she gets there, she goes down, and she gets to the cave. Now, this time she makes sure she doesn't get stuck in the cave. She goes, the same way. She doesn't get stuck. And boom, she can't find the skull. She's like, oh, maybe I did hallucinate this. But then all of a sudden she see a hand waving through one of the little cracks. It's just like, boom. Like, I don't know if anybody here has had an ultrasound, but like when you see the baby and the hands are just kind of like doing whatever in the ultrasound, that's what that skeleton was doing. So she is like, okay, cool. So she goes towards the skeleton. She finds the skull. She pulls the skull out. She tucks it underneath her arm. And she's like, yeah, baby, I'm about to go prove everybody wrong. I know what I was talking about. I know what my dreams say. I'm psychic. Period. And so she's almost to the top when here comes somebody grabbing her. Who do you think it is, Scott? Who do y'all think it is?
Dave.
She doesn't know. So this person takes her, pumps up her buoyancy, because he's going to make her float up like Mike did. He snaps off her belt, and my girl is starting to float up. But luckily, there's a cliff. She grabs the cliff and kind of hangs on, and kind of, I don't know how she does it, but she drags herself on that cliff, and she's a smart one. She's a smart one. She takes rocks and sand and puts it where her weight belt, or she puts it in her suit. I don't know what the hell she does. Some kind of way she puts sand and dirt in her. And so it keeps her down where she is. But she didn't lost that skull, so proof gone. So she slowly makes her way back to the surface. She takes the long route. She gets to the beach. She takes off all her stuff, but she keeps her snorkel and her glasses on. And, she keeps her fins. And she's hiding in the bushes. Oh, my bushes are over there. Here, let me get my bushes. Oh my gosh. And this is my Hawaiian outfit, y'all. This is Hawaii, baby. This is Hawaii. So she hiding in the bushes. And I feel like the bushes would look like this. It's very tropical in Hawaii. So she over there like, girl, oh my God. Dave almost unalived me. I got to hang out in these bushes by the boat and make sure he ain't in there. So she's looking for him, and she's like, oh my God, where Dave at? And all of a sudden a hand grabs her. And she's like, oh my God, Dave got me. Or Michelle, because now she thinks Michelle is a part of this too. Yeah. Because, the sex kitten may be the murderer too. Who knows? So she's like, oh my God. But it's just Johnny, y'all. It's just Johnny. Y'all can relax. It's just Johnny. And he's like, where have you been? You were supposed to come to my house. I ain't see you. And she's like, well, what are you doing? He was like, I drove here because I figured this is where you would come. Blah, 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 this and that. And so she's like, yeah. She was like, well, we got to get rid of Dave. And Michelle starts trotting through to the boat too. And she was like, and her too. So they sneak up to the boat. Johnny gets in there. He busts Dave upside the head. He busts Michelle upside the head. Well, that's what happens. They were they got knocked out. I mean, he didn't have any chloroform or anything on him. Like, who has that in Hawaii? So he busts him upside the head, and she's like, okay, cool. Now, you really bust Dave upside the head and he's bleeding everywhere. So we need to call the police. But Johnny's like, but do we really need to call the police like that? Like, we could just take some time and kiss.
Oh, yeah, good time to make out.
What else are they doing? So he's like, we can make out. You look so beautiful in this moonlight. And she's just like, something don't feel right. Something is weird. Besides this man trying to make out with you after y'all done busted people upside the head and ghosts are coming all over the place. But she's like, wait a minute. Why Johnny got on his wetsuit, but Dave ain't never had on his wetsuit? Wouldn't you need a wetsuit to deep dive? And all this old crazy foolishness that she should have figured out before she got on the boat with this man and he done knocked out everybody. But you figure it out when you figure it out. You know, nobody's who's perfect, Scott? Definitely not Jean. So anyway, so, you know, she realizes, oh, snap. I've been projecting onto Dave and Michelle the thing that I should have been looking at Johnny for, and it's probably because I really like this boy. Okay, I done gave him the halo effect. Okay, Scott, do you know what the halo effect is?
Yeah, I got an idea.
So then Johnny, being the sociopath he is, decides that he wants to be like Dr. Evil. And he can't just like unalive her. He has to tell his reason why. Why did he take out Ringo? Why did he take out Mike? He got to fill in the puzzle. He got to fill in the blanks for us.
Well, that works out good for us, the readers.
That's the only reason why he does it, because who does that in real life? Not I. I wouldn't be sitting there explaining to somebody why I'm a villain. Like, you know, I'm a villain. I'm a villain. Does the why matter at this point? Narcissism. It's a hell of a drug. Anyway. So he's like, girl, I'm going to tell you. She was like, I don't care. He was like, I'm going to tell you anyway. Get over here. Let me tell you. So basically, he and Ringo, when that ship went down, him and Ringo found a safe. They didn't know what was in the safe, but they found a safe. It was super heavy. Now, they found it both at the same time. They did not tell Dave. So Dave had nothing to do with this. Dave is laying over there bleeding profusely. Probably got all kinds of brain damage. He probably got what's that like NFL players and CTE, and he didn't even play in the NFL, or, you know, he wasn't a boxer. Okay, he probably over there with CTE, had nothing to do with anything. Like, Dave is a victim, honey. He is a true blue victim. So they did not tell Dave. They kept trying to figure out. They kept using the balloons to float this thing to the surface, because they couldn't just like grab it and pick it up and bring it up, because it was like so deep. It was like 180 miles under the ocean. I don't know what that is. So it was deep. So they couldn't just bring it up. So they used all these white balloons, like what Mike was blowing up, to try to bring it up to the surface. And eventually they did almost get it there, but well, Ringo kept telling Johnny, you young. I'm just going to take all the money and give you 10%. And Johnny over there looking at him like hell you are. But he ain't say nothing. He was like hell you are. So the last time they were trying to use these balloons to float it up to the surface, I didn't know you could do this. But Johnny bought his pew pew. He brought his his Yosemite Sam. And I guess Ringo said one too many things, and he pew-pewed him and hit him right in the head, and that was that skeleton that was that skeleton in the cave. So then here comes Johnny trying to lift it up by himself. Some kind of way a wave hit it or something, and it slipped and it just fell to the bottom of the ocean, never to be seen again. So you just pew-pew this man for nothing. And, you know, so we got rid of Ringo. He hid Ringo's body. You know, he was like, oh, Ringo went diving too many times and never came back up. No big deal. That's how he explained it to Dave. Dave, I guess, just didn't care. What you got, Scott?
Yeah, it sounds reasonable. Like, oh, yeah, you know, that's dived a lot. I guess, you know, sooner or later he wasn't going to come back.
Okay, you teaching people how to dive and don't know what you're doing, period. So, you know, whatever. So then eventually Mike came. He flew in, he won his contracts, he flew in. Now, I don't know if what they trying to allude to is certain people are psychics in this book. I don't know. But Mike seemed to be having dreams about that cave. And he kept telling Johnny about it. He's like, there's a cave. There's a body in a cave. And he kept diving in until he found that cave. But he told the wrong one because everybody be trusting Johnny because he looked like a beach bum. Looks can be deceiving is the lesson of the day. Watch actions, not looks. So he trusted Johnny, and Johnny was the one that floated him on back so he could get the men's to the ends. And so Johnny's like, how the hell do y'all keep having dreams? Johnny is like pissed. He's like, y'all, kind of like Scooby-Doo, I guess. I would have got away with it if it wasn't for these damn dreams. Like, okay. Okay. So, Jean kind of got a little curious. She was like, hold up. Mandy didn't have no dreams. So why did you, because I'm assuming that you got her, you did her in too. He was like, yeah, I did her in. Because she knew too much. He was like, Mandy was over there, when I took her back to the house I went back to the room after you got the car, went to the graveyard site. I went over there and this fool talking about, yeah, Jean's psychic. And, I believe her. If she says she saw a body in a cave, then there's a body in the cave. She always knows stuff that she ain't supposed to know. So he was like, I just went on and pushed her on off that balcony. Like, okay. And so Jean is like, sir, just riddle me this, Batman. Riddle me this, Batman. Because, at a point, it's just like, sir, okay. Meanwhile, all while he's sitting here giving his master maniacal plan, she's trying to figure out how she going to escape. But she keeping him talking until she can get her stuff together. So she's like, okay, so why did you do all this for? So remember, y'all go over to their body bags. Body bags are us, if y'all want to see the first part. But in the beginning, we met the mama, the Jezebel hussy mama. Okay. Annie don't wear no panties. That one. And so she was like, why did you do all this? And he was like, you don't know? Like, sir. No, I don't. You don't know? My mom's not really an alcoholic. She has a gambling problem. And, she gambles up all the money. So I needed the money. Do you know what those bookies do if you don't have the money to pay them back? Look at her. She on that stroll. They pimping the mama out so she could pay back her gambling debts. Lord Jesus. I was like, period. So he over here trying to save his mama from her gambling debts by getting safes off the floor and pew-pewing everybody and pushing them off of balconies and taking their weight belts away so they can float on to the top and unalive. So Jean is like, sir, you are crazy and your mama's a whore. And she says this in the best way ever because she just jumps off the boat. She like, girl, I got my fins, I got my little goggles, and I got my snorkel. I got to go, baby. Because I'm not sitting here with you. You crazy. You and your mama is crazy. Okay, by the way, I think the pimp was the one that dotted her eye. Like, girl. Maybe stop gambling. Maybe the answer is not to gamble, ma'am. Anyway. So she jumps off the boat. He goes to chasing her, but not with the boat, baby. He go get that wave runner. He's like, brr. He's Holly Davidson. He like, brr, I'm gonna run her down. I'm gonna mow her down. And she's paddling and going under as he comes. Well, one time she went under, she saw that there was a coral. And wave runners don't do well with coral. I don't know if you know that, Scott. I don't know if y'all know that either. It'll make them flip over.
Yeah, it's bad news.
Well, she was gonna make him have some bad news there. So she's over there like mama, away from him and his Harley wave runner. And so she tricks him and makes him go near the coral, and he flips up and he ends up unaliving. Another body bag. Get the green body bag, y'all. Get the green body bag. Get the green body bag, y'all. Because this is a mess. This is a mess. If it ain't the bins, it's green body bags. So he's gone. So she finally goes back to the boat. She checks. Dave is finally up, and he's like, "Oh my God, you busted me upside the head. Then Johnny busted me upside the head." So then we get Dave's point of view, the responsible victim.
Okay. Good.
And Dave is like, "You know what? I knew he was trouble." But we grew up together. We were high school friends or friends since childhood. So I figured I would give him a chance. I knew his mom was in trouble. Oh, a Jezebel hussy. She working them streets. She works hard for the money to gamble it away. So he was like, I gave him an opportunity, but I kind of knew he was a little, antisocial personality disorder-ish. He knew, but he gave him a chance anyway. So he was like, my bad. I should have warned y'all. I let you date him. I should have warned you. But I was too busy playing with the sex kitten over here. Period. So it happens. So we have a prologue. And at the end, Jean goes back to the graveyard as Jean does. Because she's an eccentric one who runs towards the danger. So she goes back to the graveyard. And of course, as all people do, she takes a nap at the graveyard. Duh. Do you not take naps there, Scott? Do you guys not take naps down to the grave, sleeping on the hard dirt?
It is a resting place.
It is a resting place. It's quiet too, so what better place? So she takes a nap, and here comes Mike, and he's like, Jean, you're the bomb.com, mil.org, gov, and edu. You are my hero, the wind beneath my wings, period. And she was like, so here comes Jean with the questions. And she's like, why did you choose me to tell this to? Here we go. Patrick Swayze didn't do this. He was like, I saw you were sitting in my seat, and I thought you were kind of cute. And she was like, I thought you were cute too. And I'm like, girl, look, here we are just, again, steadily just cruising towards the danger. Girl, how you gonna date a ghost?
We'll find a way.
No, let Mandy have him. Can Mandy have somebody? Dang, that's another victim in this story. Can Mandy have a man, please? Is there not enough living men to go around where she got to have the dead ones too? Jesus. So, we're grieving here. Put my veil down. So, they over there flirting, which is just weird. And so she's like, well, how's Mandy doing? And he's like, oh, Mandy, all right. I don't even think he was attracted to Mandy. It's like, girl, just get away from all them, Mandy, girl. Get away from all them. They don't know a good thing when they see it. He's like, I'll never forget her. She's unique. And he was like, I'll see you again in due time. So she wakes up from her nap, as people take in graveyards. I mean, I've heard of dirt naps, but I don't know what my girl was doing. And she finds a necklace hanging off of Mike's grave tomb thing. And it's a necklace that she gave Mandy when they were little girls. That she was like, Mandy didn't even wear this here. I ain't seen her wear it in years. But it was sitting there for her. And that is how the story ends, my friends. What did you think, Scott? What did you guys think? Again, Christopher Pike's Bury Me Deep.
I liked it.
Okay, what lesson did you learn?
I'm trying to think of what I learned. I'm not quite sure.
Well, what lessons did y'all learn? I'll tell you what lessons I learned. The lesson I learned is this. Don't you be giving people benefit of the doubt. You don't look at them and just trust them. You watch them actions, honey. You check with the mamas. You check on all of that. Don't you just be trusting people. That's how them people be ended up on Snapped and and all America's Most Wanted, all them shows. That's how they end up there. Girl, they don't be checking on them people. Y'all check on them people. Don't just be trusting them. Also, if there's danger, run the opposite way. Because this book would have been a lot thinner. It would have been Cam Jensen-esque if we had just ignored that whole dream sequence thing and not fell asleep in graveyards either. You got anything now that I put mine out there? We got a special drink for y'all, but I don't want y'all to look at my refrigerator. It's dirty. It's a mess. It's a mess. Okay, so today food try, I went to the Asian grocery store. Because we tried this the last time and we didn't do it right, we're gonna try it again. But it's in grape. Scott knows how to do this.
Yeah,
oh, I think you just push it down. Oh, I think I got it.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You don't.
Oh. No, you don't. Oh. Okay. You got to take it out the thing. Look at this. How cool. It's like a spaceship. It lets out this little ball bead. Okay, we're going to try it. Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, it tastes like grape soda. It tastes like Fanta. It's really good. It tastes like grape Fanta. So try this out, y'all. It's like I don't know, but they use real sugar in it. It's a drink. It's only 100 calories. And it has this cute little glass ball in it. So anyway, with that, I'm going to bid you guys adieu. I'll be back with Sherlock next time, either tomorrow or the day after, one of these days. But with that, from wherever I am to wherever you are, peace, love, happiness. We're going to go live. I got to reveal a puzzle. So with that, I bid you guys adieu. Bye.